What's going on, guys? Going to be a pretty quick video. Literally just landed back in the Ohio area. Was out of town again for another weekend. So just got back quickly. Was looking at all the data from the weekend. I'm like, I think I got enough time to put together a spreadsheet and put together a quick video for you guys. So hopefully this is helpful. I know there's not a ton of time before the slate locks. Maybe it'll get pushed back. Looks like there's some weather in the area, but the Xfinity race, I guess, apparently got delayed. That one is going to be going on hopefully today. I know it already started, but this one specifically looking at the Cup race. So pretty cool. First time that NASCAR is at Chicago. It's only 100 laps. So what does that really mean for NASCAR, DFS? Well, really, there aren't really a ton of dominator points available. So I think it's a little bit of an interesting way of how you're going to approach the slate today. For me, I'm going to focus more on place differential upside and then just drivers I just project to finish inside, the top 10, top 15 relatively, compared to their price. So looking at the slate, you got Larson, Truex, Elliott, and Reddick up top. You're going to see kind of a mix here. So for different reasons, Reddick starts second. Reddick's been extremely fast with the next gen on these road courses. So good chance he gets out there and wins today. My only fear with Reddick is he starts second. So we just talked about place differential upside and finishing potential. He has the finishing potential. He just doesn't give you the place differential upside. So he checks one of those boxes for me. I think there's a couple different ways you can build lines today. I think you can either go all place differential, focusing on drivers who start deep in the 20s, deep in the 30s, maybe going a single lap leader or a double lap leader, type of lineup, and then pairing them with place differential plays. Or maybe you get a little bit different and you find drivers that start more in the mid pack that still give you some place differential upside that aren't as obvious as some of the plays in the back. So I think there's a couple different ways you can build lines. Be interesting to kind of see what ownership looks like. But Chase Elliott's going to be one of those place differential plays that we're talking about. Going to be extremely popular. He does have to go to the rear of the field, but even with 100 laps, it's still going to be a relatively long race. I expect him to, move forward, even though he scored from 26 and be starting further back. He should be fine, just so he's going to be really popular. But probably my favorite play out of the top range is going to be Truex. So Toyotas were extremely fast in practice. Looks like the Toyota camp has this just dialed in. Just missed out on the second round of qualifying. So it gives you some place differential upside, check, and he gives us that finishing potential upside, check. Andy's also our most recent road course winner. So I really like Truex today for tournaments and cash games. And another play I think might just get overlooked today is going to be Larson. Larson's the most expensive. He starts seventh, kind of in that weird no man's land. But I don't mind him for tournaments at all, especially because I think a lot of people are just going to jam in Elliott, jam in Reddick. A lot of people are going to start their lines that way. And if you're hand building, you're going to easily pass up on Larson. So don't forget about Larson. Getting down to the 9K range, you got Dinger, Busch, Chastain, Byron, and Bell. Again, a little bit of a mix here, looking at the starting positions here. Allmendinger, more of a GPP play, starts 10th. I think he can be in contention for a top 5 today. He's fine. He's not my favorite play on the slate, but I really like Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch finished second at Sonoma and finished second at Coda. He starts 18th, so he's not as an obvious place differential play as some of the drivers like Chastain, who starts 34th, but he starts a lot further forward to the front of the field. His practice times were a lot better than the drivers who start deep in the field, and that's a trend you'll notice. Even though they were high on these drivers, I think there's going to be some chaos. I think there's going to be some caution, some drivers getting the wall, breaking toe links, wrecking out of this race. One thing that you'll notice with all these drivers in the 30s, they just didn't have very fast cars, in practice, or maybe they got into issues or hit the wall or for whatever reason. But Busch is one of those plays that did have a relatively a fast car and still gives you some place differential upside. So I really like Kyle Busch, and I think especially when you see a driver that's right next to a driver that is going to get a ton of ownership, it usually lowers the ownership of that other driver. So I really like Busch today. Chastain, very slow all weekend, but starting 34th, there's a lot to like here, especially if you predict, for there to be some chaos today. Byron was another play that got into the wall in practice. He will also be going to the rear of the field, scored from the 22nd position, should be able to move forward. Between the two, I'd rather play Elliott, even though Byron is a lot cheaper. And then Bell, I think Bell is a really great GPP tournament option today as well. The Toyotas are really fast. I think most of the Toyota ownership's going to go to Truex, going to go to Hamlin, and going to go to Reddick. So who's a driver that people might pass over, people might forget about? Well, that's going to be Christopher Bell. You never know. We don't really have any data points other than just previous road courses, but this is a street course. It's a little bit different. We've never been here before. I don't mind, building multiple lines and getting the Christopher Bell today. Two drivers I'm a little bit low on are going to be Suarez and McDowell. I think those Toyotas are just going to be really tough to pass. I'm projecting the Toyotas to lead a majority of this race, and there's place differential plays to come through. So plays like Suarez and McDowell, even though they start front of the field and showed good times in practice and qualifying, I just have a hard time envisioning them getting up, the additional 3, 4, 5, 6 spots that they need. I'd much rather play Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher has 8 top 10s in his last 9 road courses, which is just crazy to think about. Starts 15th, so very similar to Kyle Busch. He's a play that gives you place differential upside with that finishing potential, who also showed speed in practice and qualifying, which we can't say for some of these other drivers who start in the 30s. So I am going to have a lot of Buschers today. I'm going to have a lot of Kyle Busch. I'm going to have a lot of Blaney. Like, these kind of middle teen drivers, I think, are an interesting way to go about the slate today. Cindric's going to be high for me. Kind of the same reasons for Chastain. It's just when you project this to be relatively somewhat of a chaotic race, I don't think there's going to be like a big pile up or anything. I just think we're going to have a lot of drivers getting to the wall, break toe links, have issues. And who knows, if we get these late, overtime, bunch them up finishes. I mean, these are some tight corners. People are going to be pushing it. And, Tyler Reddick could lead 60 laps today, wreck out. And it's not going to be a great DFS day for him. So, I don't mind Cindric. Logano's not really someone I'm getting to today. I think he just kind of gets stuck riding there. I really like Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin really likes his car. He's a lot cheaper than Reddick, so you can easily build around Hamlin as your lap leader and then pair him with some place differential plays. I think, he's shown he's passes the eye test. He's been checking a lot of the boxes. The only thing going against Hamlin is just how good Reddick has been on the road courses. So, historically, looking at the next gen, Reddick is probably going to be the guy to beat. But just this weekend, I mean, Hamlin looks pretty good. So I don't mind, building a couple different variations with Hamlin in there. Bowman, I don't think anyone's really talking about Bowman. So again, if you're building multiple lines, maybe you take a risk and throw Bowman in there for a couple of lineups. Really like Blaney, same reasons we like Kyle Busch. Blaney's just a lot cheaper than Kyle Busch. Not historically known to be a great road course, driver, but showed pretty good times in practice. And pretty cool to see, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but Shane in the 91 car. Draftkings, they even have him in the slate originally. It's pretty rare that you see like a non-NASCAR, full-time driver come in to these cars and have immediate success and speed. I mean, we used to see that a lot back in the day. It's pretty rare now. So really cool for NASCAR, but not really a great DFS option. Kevin Harvick, again, same reasons as Chastain and Cindric. And I went back and forth. I was like, they could be somewhat trap plays because I think they're going to draw so much ownership. With only 100 laps, like, it's going to be hard for these place differential plays not to work out. Like, they might not be optimal, but you should still easily have a decent DFS day with plugging some of these drivers in. Really like Gibbs a lot too. Just missed out on the second round of qualifying, just like Truex said, and he's a ton cheaper than Truex. I think Truex is obviously going to be the better play, but I like Gibbs a lot. I mean, Gibbs is a driver that gives you great finishing potential, gives you some place differential upside. Keselowski's kind of in that boat too. I think just Gibbs gives you a higher finishing potential than Keselowski. Not really interested in any of the SHR cars aside from Harvick, so you're going to see low ownership there. Bubba Wallace is probably the slowest of the Toyota drivers today. Was able to pick it up a little bit in qualifying, which is encouraging. But out of all the Toyota drivers, I'm probably going to prioritize Bubba the least. Pretty cool to see a Rick Ware racing car in the top 10. I think the last time that happened was maybe the Bristol Dirt Race, which a little bit of a different scenario. I mean, this is actually getting in on speed. So it was pretty cool to see a Rick Ware racing car qualify in the top 10, making the second round of qualifying. But again, not going to be a great DFS play. Stenhouse had issues, was wrecked his car in practice pretty good. He got into the wall pretty hard. Starts in the rear of the field, basically. Because of that, again, probably isn't going to have great speed, but slowly but surely should be able to work his way through the field. Not really getting to Almirola, Priest, or Jones today. All of them have just been terrible all year. And then once you get to the bottom range, I really like Austin Dillon and Justin Haley, both for more place differential upside types of plays. And then I don't mind Corey LaJoy and Todd Gilliland as well. I think both of them have great finishing potential, not as much place differential upside as Dillon and Haley there. And then I don't mind Burton either. And I'm not really getting to any of the other low ownership plays. So pretty quick video, kind of interesting to see how the race plays out. Hopefully we get the race in today. It looks like there's a lot of weather in the area, which is a little bit of a disappointment. I know there's a lot of new NASCAR fans that were attending the race today. Had a lot of, media attention, a lot of just advertising, marketing efforts went behind this. So hopefully the weather cooperates and we get a good weekend out there. But yeah, that'll do it. A little bit of a later video than I was anticipating getting out, but I was lucky enough to get one out this weekend, which is how crazy it's been for me this summer. And I'm really looking forward to July. I'm going to the Mid-Ohio race next weekend. I'll also be going to Pocono. So if you guys are going to either of those races, let me know and maybe I'll see you there. But yeah, good luck today. And I hope everyone has a good holiday.